Mm.
What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/Hardy Construction, as well as facebook.com/the Hardy Construction. I'm laughing because I can see my co-host here. Anyway, I'm Alex, and this is... And today's film is Nightbreed, because my partner's voice is... should I say my life partner's voice is a bit busy with stuff in his mouth. Speaking of people with things in their mouth, Nightbreed was made by Clive Barker, who's used to having stuff in his mouth. And Clive I almost killed my my buddy here. Anyway, Nightbreed is a 1990 film. It's about a community of mutant outcasts of varying types and abilities attempt to escape the attention of a crazy doctor
and the world as we know it.
And a newfound Nightbreedian, or Midian, or whatever they're called. Anyway, let me read that right, because I was actually just trying to kill time.
The place is called Midian. They're called Nightbreed.
A community of mutant outcasts of varying types and abilities attempts to escape the attention of a psychotic serial killer and redneck vigilantes with the help of brooding young man who discovers them, based on the novel Cabal by
They're
Clive
not really
Barker.
rednecks.
I think once you have one pickup truck, they're rednecks.
Okay.
So, and they had you could see one of the cars were driving, they just spilled out a whole bunch of Jeff Foxworthy like books and CDs and stuff. Anyway,
Larry the Cable Guy became Nightbreed.
he's like, get her eaten. Anyway, that was pretty bad. So, what's your history with this film, Danny?
So like a year ago, and I consider it so terrible, and I thought it would be funny to make you watch it.
I actually liked it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. I can't.
that's the irony. So anyway, Clive Barker. I guess
it's unbelievable to me that you like this.
I like it in what can I say? I can't say it in fully. It's not. I don't think it's a bad movie. Well, I think it's a bad movie, but a likable bad movie.
This movie, no, this is like the kind of movie that I was reading a review about yesterday that pretty much sums up everything I say. Okay. It's not bad to the point that you would think it's funny. It's not so bad that it would be funny to tell people to watch it, like, you know, to torture them, kind of. It's just like a waste of time.
Yeah. See, I didn't think so, but, you know, whatever. I thought it was okay, and it could have gotten a lot better with sequels, but, you know.
Oh, Jesus, God forbid.
Anyway, this movie was written...
That fucking banana head guy, every time I see him,
I thought that was
I go crazy.
I thought that was the moon-faced guy from McDonald's. Remember they had that moon-faced guy who would play in the sky on a piano and stuff? Only old people would
Ronald
get that
McDonald?
reference. No, the McDonald's used to have... You know, they had Grimace and the Fry Guys and McCheese and all that shit. They had another character. I don't know why. I don't know where he came out from, but he was...
Whatever happened to Grimace? Was he Nightbreed?
He might have been. Him and the rest of them, Ronald used to pull them out of Midian so they could make commercials. But they had another character that was like had a moon. He was like a guy in a tuxedo, and he had a moon head, and he used to play the piano. And he was very short lived. Anyway,
okay, we'll get into the story, and then I'll say like to sum up what this movie is.
Right. So this film was directed by Clive Barker, even though this is part of what's this guy's name?
David Cronenberg.
Greenberg. Okay, David Cronenberg. David Cronenberg month. It's because David Cronenberg had nothing to do with writing or anything with this film, but he actually acts in it, and he's not too shabby. I don't. He'd
star in it, but he's definitely
he's the main heavy in this film. Anyway, but we're gonna focus on him. I'm sure
he might be the only part of the movie that is kind of good. Oh, and that hot girlfriend.
Yeah, she's pretty cute.
Lori or whatever.
You didn't like a misty, oily tits girl that can go through walls and people and just shows her breasts for no reason?
The one with the tentacles? No, that was a guy, I think.
Oh, that mutant thing? We'll
the one with the baby that ages in the sun?
Oh, right, yeah, her, that one. Anyway, I like how she can miss.
I have to say, actually, all of these people, even like I could see behind their makeup, the actors make me sick. Like if I ever met them, I want to thrust their head through a fucking wall.
I like the Mist
Feel
girl.
that strongly against them.
I like the fact that naked Mist girl, like she's usually wearing this robe, and I guess she could turn into mist and go through walls and people. She could just go through solid object. I like the effect of her. But the fact is that she can get naked to go through walls and take off all her drapery, but the little things that are in her hair stay in for some reason. Those come and dematerialize as well.
Those are Nightbreed hairpins.
Yeah, they were made by the Rastafarian monster from the beginning that bit the main character. Anyway, so Clive Barker made this. Funny enough, we were supposed
so bad too.
We were supposed to mention
so bad. They're like punk. That guy's like a punk rock tough.
He looks like I realized who he looks like. He looks like Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers, the movie. Like if he had a bastard son, like
it's
Ivan Ooze.
I don't know. I'm like choking here. It's like
this movie affected you that bad.
They're trying to make it like I don't know. I can't explain why it's so stupid.
This movie's like Little Monsters before adults.
Yeah, that's exactly what my friend said. It's like Little Monsters.
Fred Savage grew up to this guy with the Boone.
Basically, what it reminds me of is a bunch of stupid like theater people.
Yeah,
that, like
that's
like,
exactly when all the mutants first came
club
out
with lots of good makeup, just running around like, "Ooh, we're spooky." Like,
yeah, when the mutants first came out, I was like, because they were doing backflips or whatever. It looked like Cirque du Soleil. Like,
yeah, right, exactly.
What the hell is this? But all right, so let's get back to the creator.
It's like, no, I'm sorry, I gotta keep going here. It's like one of those like walk through scary houses at a fair.
Okay.
Like a high budget.
Yeah, but cheap, like over theatrical people, like guys with a lot of makeup, and if you actually spoke to them,
shittiest moments,
they'd be like, "Oh, I scared you. You're scared." Like they'd say stuff like that. Anyway, it's funny. I had no idea that Clive Barker was the director. All this time, I had no idea that. I thought he just wrote the novels and then he just adapted them for film. I knew he directed.
I think he doesn't really direct for the most part.
He
only
directed
did
five.
One, two, maybe.
He directed 5 films.
Did he?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to have a Clive Barker month. Although I don't really want to. But he actually did Hellraiser, and I was like, what? I thought he just wrote that.
Hellraiser?
Yeah, he directed Hellraiser.
I did not know that, actually. Okay, well...
And he did 2 short films, The Forbidden...
Because, I've read a couple of his books, and he's a good writer, but based on this movie, I would have to say he's a terrible director. But if he also directed Hellraiser, then...
He also did Salome, and he did Lord of Illusions, and besides Nightbreed. And he also... It was funny, because, I remember reading a while back, this ain't funny, but he was looking really thin and gaunt, and people were like, oh, he doesn't look too good, because you don't really hear about Clive Barker lately. And then one of his supposedly lovers is suing him for giving him HIV, and I was like, Jesus Christ, oof. So he's living in his own hell. Huh?
He has that?
I don't know. That's what the guy is saying. The guy is saying that his live-in lover gave him got HIV from Clive
150 grand straight into the bloodstream or something from the South Park episode. I think that's what he needs to do.
Oh yeah, a lot of money, right? That was one of the worst South Park episodes ever. Anyway, so. Once Clive Barker's name popped up on screen, I was like, "What?" I was like, "Whoa, okay." So he directed this. I gotta say, I really
terrible with knowing who directs movies and what the names of actors are.
I really gotta say, I was here listening to the music, and I was like, "Damn, this is a pretty good music." It's pretty good music. The music sounded like expensive, right? So when I saw Danny Elfman, I was like, okay, now I understand why the music's so good in this movie. I think Danny Elfman fell off after Spider-Man because that was just like the most. That soundtrack is so bad, but
Batman Returns soundtrack.
It does sound like that.
Pretty much was that soundtrack.
It does sound like all that. It makes everything sound really epic. Like if you're eating a sandwich and they put this music on, it's like the most important sandwich eating scene of all time. But I gotta say, the music in the film. And I'm not really like, a soundtrack, this is the greatest. It really helped this movie a lot, for me at least. I thought, I was like, wow, the music sounds like
the only thing about it that's kind of good. And
so you really, really dislike this film. Go ahead, Wyatt. I'll say why I
don't like... You know what? It just seriously feels like a bunch of fucking drama people that aren't that good of actors, but they're all like... one of them has like a dad who has a lot of money, and it's like, I'll get you the best makeup artist, and they dress them up, and then they just run around like, ooh. I don't know. It's like,
go ahead.
It's like a little like costume party.
So the monsters were a letdown for you. It feels like
a fucking costume party.
The monsters were a letdown for you.
No, it's not even that their makeup wasn't cool or whatever. They look cool.
Just the actors.
Just that like. The
approach of the
like
monsters.
They're trying too hard to be like spooky or something.
So just think about it. Now when you ever read Clive Barker in books, this is how he pictures the monsters to act.
I know.
He expects them to be over theatrical and fruity.
But no, but if he directed Hellraiser, I actually didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, those.
I've seen that movie a bunch of times, but like that is nothing like this vibe.
They acted pretty cool in Hellraiser, I guess. Like Pinhead.
I think he's definitely got a thing for like bondagey kind of.
Oh, definitely. There's a character walking around with a little dog, and the dog reminded me of this character from this manga called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Anyway, so yeah, there was that little. He looked like a little bitch boy, and I think he was the bitch boy of the old man that ran the whole Midian, because he was always around him. You notice that? Like,
and that guy was so annoying looking too. Jesus.
Yeah, because he had like those four clefts. I
like a Jar Jar character. He looked
myself.
like.
I don't like the. I don't really like the designs of the monsters. I will say though, there's a character, a serial killer in the film.
Who's awesome.
Yeah, his look is one of the best looks I've ever seen in horror. It might be actually my favorite horror film makeup effect.
He looks like a button-eyed doll kind of thing.
Yeah, if the closest I can say is if you look at the current version of Slipknot, the lead singer Corey Taylor, he has a mask that
Is he dead or something?
No, the bass player is of Slipknot.
Thank you. No, I'm joking.
Right. You don't want the maggots on you.
He came back as Nightbreed, though. It's okay.
No, but the main
one would come back would be
the main villain of the film, who is Doctor. What's his name again?
Oh shit! Actually, let me look it up. Hold on.
Dr. Decker.
Okay.
Who's played by David Cronenberg. Anyway, let's go backwards. So how does the film start?
It starts with
nice opening credit, weird opening credits, because it first starts out with the word Nightbreed crawling across the screen with scenes from the film in it.
Like I saw it.
Like if it was the TV show.
I was like, oh no, here we go again.
It was like it was a TV show, like, and then you just see the main characters pop up or something. Because why would you?
It's gonna happen, and it's just terrible.
It just starts out really epic. The song, like, then you see Nightbreed crawl, and you see scenes from the movie. Like, why are you showing me scenes from the movie and the words of the? But whatever. And then it cuts to cave paintings, and I thought it wasn't so bad compared to Cronenberg's film's openings. I think this is a good opening, except for that the effects inside the letters. And we have the main character, Craig Sheffer, who plays Aaron Boone.
Bad actor.
He's alright. He's kind of like, he's not. It's funny because he's the main character, but he's underutilized in the film. It doesn't
His
seem
head is like twice the size of a normal head.
I thought, when looking at him, I thought he was the guy from Head of the Class. The punker guy. I'm like really making old references.
Head of the Class, actually.
I'm making really old references. It was a sitcom. Anyway.
Oh, is that the one where it's the old man
two different
teacher?
teachers. Yeah, right. They had the regular old
one
guy.
where there's like a guy in the class who wears a fat suit to the class in the first episode, and then everybody's like, oh, like not wanting to say anything to be mean, and then he's like, I'm joking, it's a fat suit. I don't know if that's the same show.
Yeah, no, it was funny is like that's Dan Schneider. He's this big fat guy. On the series, he was like a big fat guy. And then like one of the seasons later, it looked like he got even fatter. So they were like, "Geez, he gained weight," but then he pulled it off to show that he actually lost weight, and everybody was so happy for him.
Okay, so that is the same show. Just so everyone knows, I don't know what the time lapse will be of this episode coming up, but Nassau Coliseum this weekend has a tattoo convention, which is in Uniondale, Long Island. If anyone lives there, this weekend. Uniondale, Long Island is going to be a tattoo convention.
This won't be up. This will be up like a week after that.
Well, then I'm sorry, you assholes. You fucking missed it.
Well, you're making me edit it out. Anyway.
No, don't edit it out. Fuck them. Let's rub it in their face.
So, anyway, I wanted to say that fat guy, the Dan Schneider guy, he ended up growing up and creating every like sitcom on Nickelodeon, like you wouldn't know them, but yeah, but apparently but it's like all 15-year-old girls, and apparently they like have theories that he's like molesting those kids and stuff. Allegedly.
No, good for him though.
And he has a foot fetish or some shit like that. Him and Tarantino.
That guy's got to eat, right? Even if it's a little girl's puss.
Jesus Christ. So we start out with Boone waking up after a nightmare, seeing all these monsters and stuff like that, and he's in the bed of his loving girlfriend. I believe her name is Lori, right?
Yes. Really, really, like, very attractive. She's exactly my type of girl. If her hair was a little bit better, it would be like...
fucking ugly? Just kidding, man. She's pretty cute. But she's cute. I don't have a problem with the way, the shots that this guy takes. The, what's his face? We're talking about his movie. Wait, Barker.
Yeah.
I don't think his directing is bad. I think the script really
is terrible, but he wrote the fucking story. So I haven't read this book of his. I bet the book is better. You know, a lot of times
you can see characters that are in the film that had
his own books. It sucks sometimes. Like, you know,
you can see that there's characters in the film that had a huge backstory that was cut out for the movie, because I can off the top of my head there's a priest character that pops up in the third of the film. And you know there was something that happened with him in the book that they just totally left out because he seems like they just dropped him in. And also the sheriff. Because a third evil sheriff, or a second evil character, the sheriff, comes out. And you're like, where was this awesome character not in the first half of this movie? Because he just kind of comes out of nowhere at the end.
You're talking about the priest that was on the other side of the wall?
There's only one priest in the movie. Yes, him.
Yeah. They don't explain anything with that, do they?
So Aaron Poon... He has this nightmare, and he keeps getting this nightmare, and then it cuts towards a murder sequence with his family and this woman playfully getting tickled by her husband, and he says, "I like being fat. Fat makes me comfortable." Anyway, and then
you just sound like Bill Cosby a little bit.
Well, you know. So then this masked killer. There's a little kid. Their son had a nightmare about monsters as well. I thought this was a flashback towards Boone's youth or something, but it wasn't. This guy with a mask comes into the house and murders the mother and then the father, and then I guess he kills the kid. And,
well, no, the kid looks like he's like hiding and shit.
No, you can see he's on the stairwell. He can't be hiding. Can he hide behind the stairwell?
He's fucking dead.
See,
if I was a psychiatrist, I'm sorry, spoiler. We already said it. It's okay. If I was him, I'd let the kid live after seeing that, because I'd want to follow his progress and see how fucked up he becomes.
That's true, but then the kid.
And oh my god, I'd follow him. This is what I'd do. I'd follow him, and every time he gets a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, I would kill them in front of him. I'd make a point to wait for him to fall in love and then kill that person.
That's like the plot of 50 movies that just came out last year. I'm sure that exists somewhere. I'm sure somebody's done that and only like gotten up to the second.
I would focus on one victim and follow them throughout their lives. That would be my goal.
But this faceless monster, who you can automatically tell who it is by the next scene, is apparently setting up the main character. I don't know why people just.
He seems to like know about this place, Meridian. Basically, Boone keeps having fantasies and dreams about this place, Meridian, which
Midian.
is a place where spooky
Midian.
fucking
Midian,
assholes, bad actors in makeup that their daddy bought
a circus troupe, yeah,
dance around like fucking assholes.
So anyway,
I'm sorry anyone that likes this movie, but I just don't get it.
Poon goes up to his doctor's office, Dr. Philip K. Decker. What does that mean, Philip K? Is that something like Philip K. Dick? Maybe?
Actually,
right.
It probably is like a reference in some way. Who knows?
Poor Philip K. Dick. Anyway. So
yeah.
David Cronenberg's character is this monotone, like, robot. It's pretty
good,
a little
though. Creepy. He's creepy.
It's funny because he's like a good actor but a bad actor at the same time. I couldn't tell because there's parts where he's really good actor, like he's getting stabbed and screaming. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And then when he's like acting normally, like, he's like a robot. He has no emotions. But I guess that fits.
Yeah,
the
but that's
character.
the point. It's like a fucking serial killer.
So he goes and he tells Poon that he shows him all these photos. He's like. He's like, Poon, these photos of these dead families are the same thing. They match everything you say about those murderous dreams. And Boone is like, oh my god, I did this. I can't believe it. And you're like, wouldn't you have any, not one doubt about it? Because it seems like people automatically believe one character, no matter who it is, and they'll just go with it. They don't have any second thoughts about it. They're just like, yes, you're right. Okay, let's go do this. Which is like super suspensive belief.
He's taking advantage of poor Boone's mental state.
Right. So, what happens after that scene? he
gives Boone, he drugs Boone basically.
Right. He tells him that it's I forget what it was. It was like some kind of.
He tells him it was lithium.
Right, but in actuality, it's hallucinogenics.
Yeah, and then like
he gets into a car,
gets hit by a car or some stupid shit. And
he walks into a truck. It was pretty funny. And he wakes up in a hospital, and then there's this guy who's like talking about Midian out the window. He's like, "Take me, Midian."
That's the guy who rips the monkey face looking guy who rips his fucking scalp off.
I think he was supposed to be the fun.
Miraculously, he's like in the world and knows so much more about it than Boone. Even though he's been there 2 minutes longer.
Yeah, he was awake at least. Maybe they filled him in faster than they could Boone, because Boone gets knocked out.
But he acts like he's lived there his whole life.
Maybe he was. Maybe he's been paying attention to his dreams and not being a scared shit like this idiot. Anyway, so we're the guy
so cheesy. He's supposed to be like the comedy relief, but there's like It's like cheesy kind of comedy
it's pretty
relief.
bad.
Like
This
I can't
film-
even explain how cheesy this movie
This
is.
film
It's so
to me,
corny.
this
This
film-
movie actually, like, there were points where I was finding goose flesh on my body because it was like, oh my god, like that's so gross.
This movie feels like one of those like a Full Moon Pictures, but if they had a lot more money to play with.
It's like the cringiest, most disgusting movie.
I don't think it's that bad.
I don't know why it makes.
Why do you hate it so bad?
Because it makes me actually like cringe at how cheesy it is. It reminds me. I have a friend. I'm not gonna name names. Who I love this guy. But
Bill Jones.
What?
Yeah, nothing.
He's such a nerd, and I'm a nerd too. But like sometimes he could get really cheesy with being a nerd, and sometimes I'm like, oh wait, no, stop, you're making me like uncomfortable. But like this movie takes that exact feeling and goes like 20 times further with it. That it's like you just cringe. Like
so let's make bullet points.
Sucking into your balls.
Let's make bullet points. Okay, you tell me what's wrong with what the soundtrack.
Soundtrack is good.
Dr. Decker.
But the soundtrack is good for a different movie.
Okay.
For this movie, it actually enhances the cheesiness.
Dr. Decker.
Pretty cool.
Aaron Boone.
Bad actor.
Lori Wilson, the girlfriend.
She's really hot.
The sheriff.
Are you seeing my face as I'm doing this?
No, I wasn't looking at it. I'll do that again.
The sheriff, uneventful. No point.
The town of Midian itself.
How does no one know about this town really, except one old hillbilly in a pawn shop?
What kind of cemetery was that anyway? Because Midian is hidden underneath a cemetery. Was that like a Jewish cemetery that they didn't care?
I don't know.
They kicked all the Jews out of that southern town.
I would totally no. There were crosses, so no.
Oh, okay.
I would totally live in that fucking cemetery. As I'm looking at it, like, whoa, I would live there. Like, there's awesome set designs in this.
So Aaron Boone gets a ride from his buddy, or I don't know how they get it. I guess Boone drives him to Midian, which is this giant cemetery in the middle of nowhere. Where was it? In the south? No, it wasn't the south. It was like near the south.
It's kind of like a hillbilly area. I don't know.
Right. So and
they never says really.
They get over there and they get immediately attacked by Moon-Faced McGee and the son of Ivan Ooze. I liked Ivan Ooze's character until they fucking.
And they're like, it's not even like they're attacking. They're more like, ooh, like it's like that kind of feeling, like you're in a haunted house at a children's fair.
So what was wrong with the Rastafarian monster? The purple
He's so
Rastafarian.
annoying. I don't
him.
want to see a monster talking exactly like a tough guy human.
But I mean, that's like the Joss Whedon mentality where monsters are normal, but they just talk just like us and stuff like that.
But then it
gets annoying. I get what you're saying. But
it's like he should be like otherworldly or something, or like I don't know.
He should have like doves flying.
You would think if you're a Nightbreed, you would have a different train of thought than like angry, angsty teenage human.
I thought he was cool at the beginning, but they don't use him or anything else in the film besides getting angry.
They use him to be like, fuck you.
I like how his eyes like shined at the night and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. But apparently he attacks Aaron. He bites him in his throat, and Aaron gets away. But is that what created him as a Nightbreed or something? Is that like a vampire thing? Because they don't really explain it. Because at the end of the film, Jamaican man, he says, "My bite created him," and I was like, okay, but I thought he was already a Nightbreed. I don't understand how that works.
I don't fucking know. I don't care either. I really don't.
So what ends up happening is that the Dr. Decker takes a bunch of the police out there, and he ends up setting up Aaron Boone to get killed by all the police, saying he has a gun. And
that's when you find out he's the bad guy, actually.
And the main who's the guy? The other cop that
I don't know his name.
So anyway, this older cop gentleman is like he didn't have a captain. I think he's a captain.
The black guy?
Yeah. See, I wasn't trying to be racial, but you had to be.
It's not racial.
This is a movie about being against racism. Jesus.
Okay.
Christ. So anyway, I believe it's Captain Igerman. Does that sound like a black guy's name? No, maybe that's the white guy. I can't tell. Anyway, whatever. This lieutenant or this captain is like, he's always suspicious about him, but he still goes along with all of Decker's plans. Anyway, they shoot the shit out of Boone. Boone dies, and then while they
actually have a gun.
Yeah, right. So they I guess they couldn't call foul or something like that. They bring Boone back, and they decide to do an autopsy in which he vanishes during the night. And the girlfriend finds out. She doesn't seem so wrecked up about it. I don't think so. She does cry, and she cries like twice.
And she gets drunk with this like lesbian girl, and they're gonna have like a little drunken
scissor party
thing. until Dr. Decker.
It seemed like the next day they get drunk, and then the next morning she's happy. She's like, the girlfriend's okay. She's like, yeah, my boyfriend's dead and he's missing, but you know, whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? But she's looking for his body in Midian. And that's when she goes into... I saw parts of this film when I was younger. I didn't see the
part that bothers me is that, you know, the fucking, you know, everybody sees all these monsters and shit, but they don't seem that phased by it. They're more like, oh, it's enemies.
Do they actually see the monsters?
But they're not like thinking these are fucking supernatural monsters.
That's the thing. If you actually saw any of these people like in real life, would you think that they're monsters or people in makeup?
I would. Well, I mean, if they're running at you and one of them has like 10 arms or something, like there were some actual monsters.
Yeah. That monster with the face inside the stomach thing. That
like some, and there was some that were just like kind of just complete monsters, not even human looking.
Yeah. That's one of my problems with this film. Anyway, so the girl goes in and she finds... This is the thing that I saw when I was a kid, and it fucking spooked me out. She finds this little, like, rat creature in the forest. I mean, in the middle of the...
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of the...
That's cool, actually.
It was a cute little monster, and then when the mother brings it back... I mean, one of the Nightbreed tells her, oh, can you bring my child back to me? She brings the child back to her. Then the little rat creature turns into a human, but with these huge black eyes. And I saw that part, and I was like, ooh, I scared the hell out of me.
It looks like Lord Voldemort when he's depicted as being in heaven or whatever.
So they get the monster back, and then they take her downstairs, and then they start intimidating Laurie and vis-a-vis, or whatever the phrase is. David Cronenberg actually was banging or got into it with the friend that Laurie just met, and he kills her, and it's just all this wacky shit. And it all leads to Boone trying to survive.
And he knew her, too. He seems to know everyone.
Yeah, I think he's been tailing everybody. He's going around.
How can nobody tell how creepy he is? I can tell how creepy he is.
Yeah, because people are stupid. They look at a guy like him, but he looks cool in the film, even when he's not in the mask form.
But he looks creepy.
Yeah, he does look creepy.
He's got like the D. Snyder in Strangeland as a regular guy with no makeup kind of look to him.
No, there's nothing that reaches the creepiness of D. Snyder in that film as a normal guy. He looked like a witch. He was terrible in that film.
No, but I'm saying like there's something like, oh, this guy's like a lunatic. You know, like that kind of feeling.
Maybe people are more normal to people that act like inhuman machines. And
I have mosquito bites all over my feet.
Fucking pervert. Anyway.
They're driving me crazy.
So, the town of Midian itself, because during the film, Boone, who I guess accepts his mutant powers, whatever that is, he blows smoke out of his mouth and turns into a...
And turns into a kind of... werewolf with like fucking little designs on his face.
That's what I always thought when I was young. It was funny because the poster for the film sticks with me a lot. For some reason, I used to see in video stores. For some reason, it felt like a weirdo poster version of the Lost Boys. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you get that vibe. It's like all these cool young people on the cover, but it's actually just him young and these mutants next to him.
Got to come in.
I think that's the fire truck, asshole.
Anyway, coming.
I think what happens is that the film, I think Midian sucks. Like when he actually goes downstairs and he meets all these monsters and shit, like the town sucks. Like it's just these cheap mutants and shit.
It's like it's trying to be like Satyricon or something, but it sucks.
Wasn't Satyricon?
But there's some cool sets, and there's some cool makeup.
But it doesn't feel like a real town. Like I'm expecting thousands
because
of
it feels
monsters.
like a bunch of kids pretending that we're spooky, blah 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 blah. That's what the whole movie feels like. It's like make pretend. It's like a bunch of nerds, like super nerds, way beyond anything me or you could muster.
Christ. This film feels like Avatar at 1/10 of the budget. You know what I mean? Just this guy who goes into another universe and then, you know, becomes them, and then he has to save them at the end. It's the same story. Well, anyway, but that I think is a huge, a big fail in the. I hate saying that phrase. A big misstep is that the size of the. I mean, it's big and it feels cavernous, but it just kind of seems like when Laurie's walking around looking at these monsters, it just seems like she's opening up a door and goes, ooh, you know, a monster just pops out.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like a spooky house.
I agree with you with that. It just seems like they just had no money for that. Like the idea of having all these monsters, they're just living like mutants in them. Some of the designs are interesting.
There are movies that have no money that do way better jobs.
Some of the designs are interesting, and some of them are kind of just stupid looking. Especially the
banana face guy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And there's like the berserkers that are just I guess like costumes that they left from the 1950s or some shit like that. These cheap monsters that fly around. There was one fucking stop motion animation dinosaur. I couldn't believe how bad that shit was animated. I was like, what the hell is this? It just came out of nowhere. They couldn't build a puppet with all the money that they had. Jesus Christ. But what else do you think is a real? You know, what are the positive you think stuff about the film besides the music and Dr. Decker?
Nothing.
Really? It's that bad to you?
Yeah. The girlfriend's hot. That's it.
She's pretty. Yeah. I actually like the directing of the film because it feels like I'm trying to think of what director it reminded me of. And nobody be insulted by this, but it felt sort of like it could be in the music. But it felt like a Sam Raimi kind of weird film. It didn't have the level of slapstick. I'm a little
insulted by that. Actually.
Okay, listen to me. I'm saying the directing. I'm not saying the story itself. Okay. I'm saying there was a lot of close-ups, a lot of like far shots. The shots were really good for the film. I like the shots. I like how it moved. The pacing was all right. The story fucked up.
Yeah,
but that was enough for me to say, okay, this is passable. I didn't think
the script is just so bad I can't even get past it, you know.
But there's other bad shit like when Boone gets arrested again and they check his pulse. This is like the third act of the film before they, you know, rah all the police. It's so funny because the police just go by. This guy's dead.
The psychiatrist says
they capture Boone again and they arrest him because he walks into a hotel room and Dr. Decker had killed this whole staff to set him up once again.
And I don't know why it's so hard to see a guy that was shot like 30 times alive and unwounded.
I don't know why Decker's spending all this time setting up this fucking guy when he could just kill him. What's the point of Decker doing that?
Well, he's a psychiatrist. He likes psychological games.
He's a shithead. He's setting him up so hard so he can get arrested for what? Who cares? What's the point? Just kill him.
He's playing with him. He's having fun.
I know, but Decker, it doesn't make any sense that Decker is this guy who's been... It's revealed that he's been hunting down Nightbreed all this time. But he's killing all these regular people for no reason.
Does it say that?
He does say that. He says, I've been hunting breed.
He wants to destroy Nightbreed, but I didn't know that he necessarily knew about... Well, I guess he did,
says it in the movie.
Because he knew about it from the other guy, too.
Yeah, he says that in the beginning of the... Oh, well, no, towards the second half of the film.
You're right, because he has the monkey face guy that rips his scalp off, too.
Yeah, right. And so what happens is he kills a bunch of guys with horns, like with I guess, steer hats on. He kills them. When he killed them, at least he let them make that card castle at the end. And then he killed them. Because imagine if he killed them before they finished their card castle. That would be very upsetting. And this idiot walks in, touches the door with his hand, leaving fingerprints, and then tastes some of the blood off the table. Because apparently to Nightbreed, humans are meat, and it's against the law to kill humans, set up by the old queen with his girlfriend, with the dog. Right. And he takes the blood, he drinks it, and he tells Lori to leave him alone, and the cops bust in. She doesn't get arrested for being an accessory to the crime, so that's pretty funny. And
nobody questions that this guy who was shot like 100 times is
walking around. Yeah, even though the fact that they noticed he didn't have a bulletproof vest at the beginning, so they throw him into the jail cell. The cops, you know what I thought? I thought the cop, when he puts the super evil sheriff or whatever he is, he puts those leather gloves on. I thought they were gonna give him like a weirdo rectal exam or something. I was like, oh, Clive Barker's really putting his all into this movie. So they punch the shit out of him, and for some reason, one of the doctors goes in and checks him to see his stats, his vitals, and he's dead. Like, he's walking around and he's like sad and shit, but he has no pulse and he has no heartbeat. So the captain comes in and he's like, "What the hell are you who'd you bring him up?" All that shit. He's yelling at the Dr. Decker, and for some reason, just because of that, they decide to mobilize all these hillbillies and cops to go take down Midian. Why? Yeah. I mean, where does that jump from that point of a guy who's clinically dead in your office to going and hunting down mutants, supposed mutants that nobody saw?
Who cares?
I care. Yeah, it should make sense that they do that. It doesn't make any sense that they just go.
The movie is stupid.
I know what you're saying, and this is why what's wrong with the film is that they make illogical jumps to other things.
That's not what's wrong with the film. What's wrong with the film is that it sucks.
But so anyway, they mobilize and they start doing it. I like the whole attack at the end. I mean, you can appreciate that whole war at the end of the film.
No.
Okay. So the third act is basically the cops go and they go after Midian, and they break in and they blow shit up, and they do it conveniently when the sun goes down, so they can get their ass beat. I mean, they were gonna get their ass beat anyway if they went downstairs because it's all subterranean. But a lot of good shit happens, a lot of explosions, monsters, mutants, cheap-looking mutants attacking people. But then they try to be funny with stuff, but it feels like very 1990s, like, you know, Street Fighter the movie, that kind of humor where it's really bad.
Yeah, no, it's bad humor.
It's just bad humor. Like, there's a fat guy that has these two snakes coming out of his stomach that go around his neck, and then they kill people by going to their eyes.
It's just like stupid.
Yeah, because this cop, and he looks like Ortho from Beetlejuice. That's the funny part of it. But this cop goes up to the fat guy and he's like, he says something to him, and then the fat guy goes, "Oh, I got two of them," and then he waits and watches this guy have two snakes come out of his stomach, and they get close to him enough to have the snakes attack his eyeballs. Like, what the fuck was the point of that? Like, why would you wait?
Shoot him?
He could have shot him right there and then just walked out.
Yeah, like the second I saw a guy with fucking snakes coming out of his crotch, I would
like
shoot him.
Yeah, right. There was a lot of just dumb illogical stuff, but the good art design. I did like the statue of whatever that was at the bottom of the. Was that Midian himself or something?
What, that weird like?
That half a statue. There's a statue of I guess it's a black guy, right?
I don't know.
Anyway, there's a statue of this giant. It looks like something out of.
Is that the Prophet?
I don't know. It's coming out. It's coming out of Indiana Jones. It looks like something like out of that. It looks like who's the bad guy that he fought in part 2? Like that guy, Kali Marjan Today, not that guy. Anyway,
it doesn't matter.
He's this big horned monster. The closest thing I could think of is like the monster from, the statue from Conan the Destroyer, shit like that. Just giant.
I do like the way the very last
monster.
scene of the movie.
Huh?
I like the last scene of the movie, kind of.
When he picks him up and he's talking to him, he turns into a black guy.
No,
you must find me and save me. He's like doing that. I was like,
the final deck scene, which we could leave that in case somebody has actually spoiled the entire movie for themselves, but still wants to see it and they haven't seen it yet.
That was like the first scene I saw when I saw this movie as a kid. I was like, well, there goes that. But yeah, I liked the whole fighting at the end. I thought it was pretty good. I thought the money all went into that final battle at the end. I think a lot of.
Maybe I missed it, but like.
Nothing happened. The sheriff like disappeared. He just didn't die. He uses a rocket launcher. I don't know why the cops have rocket launchers, and he blows up his own men. But then nothing happens.
This was made in like a time when bazookas and shit were in fashion in Hollywood.
Yeah. But I like the climactic ending, and I like that they set it up for a sequel, but they just didn't. I mean. They just didn't even bother. I guess this movie must have bombed really bad.
If they make a sequel, I'm going to go to it and like...
There's supposed to be a remake at some time, I thought, but I'm not too
wow,
sure.
I can't even make that joke.
I'm not kidding. I thought there was like...
What I was about to say would be very bad.
But, I think I got what your joke to say, but anyway. But yeah, I guess that's... Even the high phonetic finale didn't work for you.
No, nothing worked. Let's do our ratings now, because I realize we've been talking about this shit for a long time now, this piece of shit movie.
Yes, we actually have been. So with that, I would give the film 6.5 6.5. God damn, there's a lot of stuff to pick out of this movie. 6.5 old wizard man who runs a whole colony of mutants and his lover with this tiny dog.
Okay, I'm gonna give this movie 2.
Wow.
2 out of 12. 2 out of 12. Fucking like retarded bad actors that were in high school theater class. With one of them has a rich dad that dresses them up in fancy makeup, and then they run around going boo, boogity boo.
Very good. And with that, the next film is Kill List. Is it called The Kill List or Kill List?
Kill List.
Kill List, a pretty cool
movie. I don't know. The Kill List, I don't know. It's a good movie.
Our next film is Kill List. So with that, what is the final word?
Shmakada, shmakada.
The horror demons